Sorry about
Hi.
that. We had a technical
No
failure
worries.
at the first, sort of. How are you,
Hello.
Karishma?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Where are you joining us from today?
From Mumbai, India.
Yes, lovely. And tell, why
Yes.
don't why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself? What's your kind of background, your teaching background, your speciality? What do you do?
Sure. Hi everyone. Good evening. It's evening here, 5:30. So, hello everyone. I'm happy to be here and thank you so much for inviting me, Claire. Well, I have been a trainer since last 8 years. I have been training people from different backgrounds, from different professional industries, students, homemakers, working professionals, and from last 8 years I have been working in English language, spoken English development, business English, personality development, and soft skills. So this is has been about me. I love to develop skills of people. I like to help people to go ahead in their career, and that's what inspires me to work hard and help people, because I've always believed, I mean, if I look at my journey, it looks like it has been 8 years, but time has really flown by fast and sometimes it just feels like just a moment. But it has been a great ride, a roller coaster ride. I have had my shares of ups and downs, but I can proudly tell you, Claire, that I'm a successful trainer now, a trusted name in the field of training, and I'm really happy. I feel great every minute that I work, and I feel great when people trust me, they approach me for their skills development.
Gr- Great. So you're
Hi everyone.
so you're enjoying teaching as much as I am. If you're watching this on replay, by the way, remember that you can still comment below with any questions or any of your key challenges. And why don't you go ahead and follow Karishma now, and you'll be able to get her wonderful, amazing updates. I've been really inspired by you, Karishma. So I'm really honored that you're doing this live with me today.
Same here. Thank you so much, Claire. I always like to talk to you, and we spoke a couple of times, and happy that we could finally schedule something,
Yes.
and we are here today.
Yeah, it's particularly
So,
challenging, isn't it, Karishma? Because I'm in London and you're in
yes,
Mumbai.
yes. You are in London, I'm in Mumbai, and we had to coordinate our time zones, but finally it happened. So
Finally
I'm
here.
happy about that.
Good.
Yes. So first time I think we met was in one of my live sessions, and I asked you to, let's talk, and we spoke.
Yes. So, well, it's amazing
Right.
that we can do these things. Actually, the Instagram's like really opened up the world of teaching, hasn't it? It's given us lots of opportunities, but also some challenges with the
Yes.
technical class things and so
Yes, I was just going to say that.
on.
So the best part is it has been just 2 months since I have joined Instagram, but the kind of love and appreciation I have been receiving is fantastic and overwhelming. And every minute, you guys keep me on toes to make better and better content every day. So thank you for keeping me on toes and having wonderful friends like you from the same community, Claire. It is really, really amazing. I don't know how we could function without a community. We must have a community,
Yeah. No.
and supporting each other and helping. It's beautiful
Yeah, no,
that we do this.
absolutely. I mean, collaboration amongst teachers, I think, is so important.
Yes.
In fact, that's my kind of teaching philosophy in general, actually. I think when students collaborate with each other, they learn a
Mm-hmm.
lot. They learn
They
from
learn
each
like group
other.
study.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
absolutely.
Collaboration, not competition, I say. Let's not compete against each other. And
Not at all. I don't. I completely agree.
yeah, the odd
So,
little slight little competition in class is not a terrible thing, but in general, the principle of collaboration.
yes,
So you
absolutely.
are an expert on all of these things, and that's why I'm so pleased to have you in this live with me. Let's talk about some of the challenges then that your students face for a start, or maybe both of us, but let's start with yours. Let's talk about what are the biggest challenges in terms of communication or speaking that your students face.
So, yeah, Claire, definitely I would love to know your experiences as well. So once I'm like done sharing mine, I would be stopping for you to tell me your experiences. I would love to know those. So yes, like as I said that it has been 8 years since that I've been training. So I started off with some few startups where there would be few employees, and I would train them. I moved on to doing workshops and seminars, and the observations that I have are from actual ground experience. You know, I have done a seminar where in an auditorium there are 2,000 people, and I've also done it when there are only 20 people and also 20,000 people. So I have met so many people, I have trained so many people, and they contribute also to my observations and learnings. And I have seen that people have different challenges, and it's difficult to put it in one box because maybe someone from, let's say I have a student who's an interior designer, she has different challenges. I have a group of students who are studying, they have different challenges. Then I have corporate employees who are my trainees, like they take training from me for soft skills and English development. They have different set of challenges. So people from different educational backgrounds, people from different cultures have different challenges. Now back here in India, we speak more than 20 languages, and there are so many cultures out here. So back here in India, I mean, but for a lot of people, English is not the language spoken at home. It's not the first language. So there are those challenges as well, that how to translate this into English. In my mind, I'm thinking in the regional language, but how to translate it into English. So what are your thoughts on this?
Yes, yes. I mean, many people speak English as fluently in India, don't they? It's
Yes, yes,
very,
of course.
very impressive. Now, some of my students' biggest challenges, I think a bit like you, it depends on what my students' goals are, really, what it is they want to do. Why are they learning English? Is it for pleasure, or is it for business? Is it for academic purposes? But generally, I think one of the overarching kind of challenges that all of my students face is confidence when speaking, because most of my students are upper intermediate to advanced students. They probably know 2,000, 3,000, if not more, words, pieces of vocabulary. They probably know all of the grammar or most of the grammar, some fossilized errors in there somewhere, but most of them have very good grammar. But then when it comes to speaking, I don't know about the people that are watching us, whether you feel the same. When it comes to speaking, they say to me that they forget all of the words. Doesn't matter how much grammar they've got, how many words they've got, they forget the words.
Yes. So there are these categories of participants. So some of the participants are the learners are those that know grammar rule by rule. Like you can just wake them up in the middle of their sleep and they will tell you that this is a noun, this is an adjective, and this is which tense. But when it comes to speaking or framing sentence, it could be something as simple as, I'm just going to the market and coming back. So it's as simple as that, but they have challenges in framing these sentences. So yes, there are people who are a little above basic, or even they could be moderate or advanced level, but then they have challenges. I mean, in grammar they could be on advanced level, but when it comes to speaking, there are challenges.
Yes, Geetarag also agrees with us. Somebody that's watching here live also said that speaking is a real problem. And one of my friends, Nathan, is also watching. Are you still watching, Nathan? He just gave us a wave. Now, he speaks English as a first language, and he has heard me speaking in public many times. I'm sure he can confirm to you that speaking can be difficult even in your first language. We can get very nervous. We can become very nervous. Nathan's still here. Yes, Nathan has heard me be very nervous speaking before, so he can confirm that.
Yes.
So it's difficult in your first language, so it's going to be even more difficult if it's your second or third language, because your brain is kind of confusing you and saying, I don't want to say those difficult words that I don't necessarily know how to use. So coming up with strategies and techniques to be able to calm the nerves and to calm the brain so that it can focus on the words that you've got in your brain somewhere so that we can get
Yes.
them out and feel confident when we're speaking is something that you and I train our students on, isn't it? Now, let me just read what Nathan's saying here. Absolutely. I am pretty bad at learning languages, but I'm terrible at grammar in English too. Now, Nathan is, like I said, speaks English as a first language, but probably has, well, like you're saying, challenges with grammar as well. So even harder in a
Yes.
second language.
Yes. Hi, George Sidhu. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. Yes, so Geeta Rag again agrees with us. Okay, that's great. So Geeta Rag is always watching all my live sessions and putting up queries. It's always great to interact with all of you.
What I was thinking for people that are watching is, are you able to write a question for us using the little function that's at the bottom? There's 2 question marks in a box.
Yes.
If you hit that and then type your question into it, it will come up on our screens, and then we can answer those questions directly. Do you have any questions so far about speaking confidence, fluency, pronunciation, techniques, or anything? If they could ask us some questions, that would be wonderful.
Sure. But sometimes, let me tell you, this doesn't really work properly. So I would encourage you to type it in comments. That would be a better option to be safe. Yes, I've tried that. I have tried that.
Oh, and it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Okay.
No.
Well, I've learned something today then. Okay, so we've talked about some of the challenges that we've observed already. What advice would you give to students that are feeling kind of unconfident about speaking?
Sure. So I would just take a minute before we move to that. All of you, I hope I'm audible. So I would recommend you to write your challenges here in the comments box so that we can see it faster and real time. So just quick things to, if you're a student, then any challenges you all are facing, and speaking to your classmates, asking your doubts or questions to your teachers, professors. Type here. If fluency is a problem, then type fluency. If grammar seems to be a big mountain, then type grammar. Or if you think that you can't really remember good words, vocabulary is a challenge, then type vocabulary. Type whatever comes to your mind, which it should be like, okay, yeah, this is difficult for me. So do type here so that we can have a discussion on that. Claire is here, I'm here. Anyways, we are discussing about challenges. So do type your challenges here.
Good.
And in the middle, let's give them some time to think and type. And yes, we can discuss further.
I see.
So
good. See, I'm very pleased to be doing this with you and watching from a professional experience.
Okay, so Geeta is always really quick in typing, I must say that. Okay, so speaking. Geeta, speaking is a challenge, right?
And somebody said London accent. They said the London accent is challenging.
London accent is challenging. Okay.
We've come to the right place.
Yes. Sentence information is a challenge. So Geeta, what have you done to develop your speaking skills? Do you practice? Do you watch some Instagram or YouTube videos? What do you do? Yes, I understand that it's a challenge, but we have to do something about it. So depending upon your requirement, is it a challenge for you at your workplace? Then you must study a little bit about professional vocabulary, using certain expressions that are used in meetings or workplace. That could be really helpful.
I've got a good question here from Nathan that has come in actually, and even though he speaks English as a first language, it's applicable across the kind of language learning world really. Are you able to see that question?
Yes. What tools for a new learner of languages are useful?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many tools out there on the internet, Nathan, and everybody that's watching. You can find everything for free on the internet. If you want to find it, you can find it. But I would say one of the best things really for learning a language is getting involved in some sort of group situation where you can start using what you've learned straight away. It's one thing to have the language, the knowledge in theory, so to speak, You're writing it,
Yes.
reading a book or reading a website or whatever, but then actually doing it is always the thing that's going to be the most effective. So whichever method that you choose, whichever tool that you choose, Nathan, or anybody else watching, I would say try to prioritize the production skills, the skills where you're actually having to process the information in your head and then produce something, whether that's speaking or writing. But obviously, if speaking is your
Yes.
priority, get involved in some sort of group discussion, find a language partner, and so on. What would you add to that, Karishma?
Sure, sure. So I can tell you, give you something without you having to spend a single penny, is that you can integrate English in your hobbies. So if you love traveling, talk about traveling in English. If you like music, then tell me which song do you like, who's your favorite musician, or probably have such conversations. English should be a part of every activity you do. If you do this, then I think this is the fastest and most effective tool for a new learner, even for someone who wants to brush up, not just for a new person, but also for a person who's good at it but wants to brush up, improve, polish. These things work well. If you are someone who, maybe you could just observe things around and write short paragraphs, like Claire rightly said, putting it down on a paper, like writing down your experience. It's just simple. Like, I have a video on my page, you can just check it out. It's about morning journaling. So you can just write down, ideas that you get in the morning. That's also, see, those are your personal ideas, so no one is going to read. They are just your thoughts that come to your mind. Just write down your thoughts, and writing something really, really helps. And as I said, talk about your regular activities in English, your routine activities. That's something that really works, isn't it, Claire? Do you think
Yeah,
it's a good idea?
definitely write about things. Excuse me, got a frog in my throat, we say in London,
Oops.
a frog in my throat.
Yes.
Definitely use examples from your life, real life examples from your life. So if you're writing them
Yes.
down or whatever, choose something that you would actually use in your life, because then you are more likely to actually use it. I always say to my students to write it down onto a little post-it note, or a small, let me get it for you, a small A6 notebook that you can put it in your pocket and take it with you wherever you are. And if you're in a situation where you might be able to speak some English, quickly get your book out and have a look. What are my target sentences for this week?
Yes, I
And
love that.
make sure you use them intentionally, as soon and
Yes.
as frequent as you can.
Yes, so I am a person who makes a lot of notes, so I love that idea. It's great. So I have a lot of my followers here,
Hello,
like,
everybody.
who are more into typing, right? So they would be like, probably you can make some notes on your phone and quickly open it whenever you need to look at them. So in any way you write or type, but you must put it down somewhere.
Yeah.
And yes, start with simple sentences first, and then gradually you can build it up.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
So I've got a couple of more
so
things here that I was hoping that we might be able to cover as well. Thinking about fluency and accuracy. What's the difference between fluency and accuracy, and which one would we say is more important? Is one more
wow.
important than the other?
Wow, so I think this is something for both of us to have a long discussion. Okay, so it's like, fluency is like, driving a car fast and reaching your destination, maybe from your home to your office
Mhm.
with good speed. You reached on time, but then did you drive right? Did you follow all the rules? Do you really, did you hurt someone while driving? Those are all things come in accuracy. Like, doing things right is all about accuracy, and doing things fast or without anyone's help is fluency. So if you are someone who calls yourself fluent, I'm sure you are, but then if you are like looking for accuracy, then look at it from correction perspective. Am I doing it correct? Using the right words at the right time with the right expressions. That stuff is, the accuracy stuff, being right. So that's what accuracy is. What do you think?
I totally, I totally agree. And I think some people might focus too much on accuracy because they're scared of making mistakes, because they don't want to feel
Yes.
intimidated, because they don't want to feel unconfident. But actually, it's quite possible to speak a language with many mistakes in it, but still be able to communicate the ideas that you need to communicate, to be able to get what you want with very few words, actually. So if somebody can feel more if they can speak with more fluency using just the words that they know, more confidently with just the words that they know, they don't have to worry about being too accurate. You know, British people,
Yes.
people that speak English as a first language, we make lots of mistakes when we're speaking. I'm sure I've already made lots of mistakes in this live. We often use the wrong word. We often use an incorrect grammar structure. But I'm still able to communicate to you more or less
Absolutely.
what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's like, a difference between a person who calls himself experienced and there is another who calls himself an expert.
Mm-hmm.
So the expert is like already reached the benchmark, he's accurate, 100% accurate. The experienced person may not always be right. So there could be some problem in accuracy, but he's fluent in whatever he's doing. So yes, fluency and accuracy work hand in hand. And as Claire said, I completely agree. And this is a method that this is my principle as well in my teaching and training, that don't focus right now on accuracy. Right now, just go for it. Go with your fluency, the flow of your fluency actually. And then accuracy is something that will come through with time, with practice. But yes, what will help you to begin is fluency.
Yes.
That will always help you to start.
Yes, one of my students said that they think fluency is like when water flows down the river without any problem, not thinking about it. It's just kind of flowing. And I think that's a nice kind of visual image about what fluency is being able to speak without sort of worrying and stopping and starting and,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if you could speak like few sentences or have a dialogue with someone without taking Google's help or someone's help, then you are fluent. So now you can focus on accuracy, which will come with time. Yes. Thank you, Uski Ade. Thank you. Thank you, Ria, for joining. Great.
Okay. So what about some more questions? Let me see what we've got here. Questions or comments from anybody? Can you see anything? You make it so simple to learn. Oh, that's very nice. I'm sure that's somebody talking to you. Asha, I think. So what sort of activities what sort of activities do you do with your students to help them feel more confident when speaking?
So there are a number of activities like you can record your voice. So I have seen, I've observed with all the market experience, and like I said, training people from different age groups, like right from a 5-year-old to 75 years old person. I have trained and I do train, and there is one common factor that is stopping or blocking this entire skill to be developed is lack of confidence. So I focus a lot on confidence. I'll just take a minute to talk to all our listeners and viewers today that believe in yourself, be confident. Who the hell can stop you if you're confident? Just go for it. Don't worry, because it's perfectly fine to make mistakes. Tell me one person who's 100% perfect. No one is. So it's a journey, right? So I really focus, therefore I focus first on confidence building, Claire, because that really helps. The confidence shows on their face, because these are like, whether it's online or classroom activities, it comes down to speaking on a topic in front of a group, right? So you have your other classmates looking at you, and inside that you don't know to speak well, and now I have to present on a topic or maybe speak for the next 3 minutes on this topic. Now it's a classroom activity, so I have to do it. So that is when the person's confidence just goes crashing. Confidence is something that I focus a lot on, and then there are some other activities like you can record your voice in your phone and listen to it. Probably doing some mirror practice, try speaking on different topics. Like I said, observe things around you. If it's like a mobile phone, you like your phone, you use it 6, 7 hours, 8 hours in a day, so 3 hours in a day, but you spend so much time with your phone, you do so much with your phone these days. So write about your phone. Which features do you like? What do you like? Just write about things. Make it simple, keep it simple. So these are the activities that I actually make them do. And yeah, it's more of practical as well as going by the book. So it should be a good balance of practical and going by the book things.
I love that one. If you like your phone so much, why don't you write about it? I love that. I'm gonna try that in one of my lessons.
So what about you?
Yeah,
what about you? What are your activities?
Well, I mean, I've got lots of different activities, I'm sure you have as well. One of the things that I enjoy doing one of the things that I start off my speaking and fluency lesson or courses with is for my students to decide democratically amongst themselves what the rules are for the classroom, because this then helps lay the foundation about what they're going to expect in the class, and it kind of makes the nerves go away because you know what to expect. One of the things that they always come up with is no speaking over each other, for example, no correcting each other, having respect for each other. So no sexism, no, racism, homophobia, and so on, so that everybody knows that they've got a safe space, that they're in a safe space in their class with you. And so already they know that they can say whatever they want to say and nobody's going to think badly of them because everybody's in the same boat and they've all decided.
That's
together.
Great. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Great thought.
And it's a really interesting exercise as well, because we live in a world where democracy should be quite important, and so it gives us the opportunity to talk about democracy.
Absolutely.
As well.
I love that word.
Yes, that's one of the things. Other things, like I said, we often agree not to do any correction in class. We focus on speaking and fluency. We focus on using the words that you've already got. So we're not going to be focusing on corrections unless the student specifically asks, am I saying this correctly? Is there, could I say this in a better way or in a different way or whatever? Or sometimes we might do group corrections at the end where we'll take a few of the things, the challenges throughout the lesson, and we'll work on them together. So again, it's a very kind of collective process, which I think.
So any writing or speaking activities that you make them do, your students?
Yeah, well, one of the ones that I do is for example, I'll say something that I ask them to then write in the chat on Zoom. So I ask them, so I'll say it a couple of times and it's called dictation, right? So I'll say it and then ask them to write it in the chat, but not to press enter until everybody has finished writing what they think I've said. Okay, so once everybody's then written what they've thought, what they think I've said, what they've heard, they then press enter. All of the comments come in at the same time, and then we go through them together and give each other feedback, and sometimes it's quite it's such a lovely exercise because one person will hear one thing and another person will hear something else, so it's quite interesting. And from that exercise we can then create a list of some of the key challenges from the class as a whole collectively, and then the next lesson I'll create a lesson plan based on what they've identified themselves in class, and then they can take that list and use it sort of during the week in between classes to create their own self-study plan, because That's another thing, isn't it? What we want to do is not to have lifelong students. I don't want lifelong students or the same student to be with me for the rest of their life. I want them to learn how to become lifelong learners themselves. So
Yes, but I just would like to share something that I have observed that though I also really pray that I don't want lifelong students, because I want them to stay with me for some time, learn and go ahead in their career and life. Having said that, but I have seen that the more time I spend, the more they become the, the personality or the confident learner that I want them to be. So spending more time with them also really helps. It has helped me some at times where it took some effort, good amount of effort, to make it a part of their culture or daily routine or personality. It just couldn't come in couple of months.
yeah.
So yes, whether it's my online courses or in my classes, I have seen the fact that, because when they look at me as their mentor or role model or coach, they try to emulate me.
Mm-hmm.
And they like, the best compliment I've ever received from a student is that I want to speak like you. And it was so cute that I just tell them that then you got to speak with me in English more and more and more, then you can speak like me.
Yeah.
So yes, definitely as a genuine mentor, we want them to not be with us forever. Learn and go ahead, grow ahead, and the best thing would be, you guys achieve and get ahead in your life with all these amazing skills. And English, as I said, is an integral part of soft skills and communication skills and personality.
Yeah.
So you will be noticed by people. You will be definitely noticed by people. You will be appreciated anywhere you go when you speak well.
Yeah, I really like your point there as well about students staying with you for a good amount of time, because there are some things on the internet that are going to promise you massive improvements in 19 lessons or massive improvements in 3 months. You're going to speak fluently in 3 months. You're not, quite frankly, going to speak fluently.
No,
in 3
not
months.
at all. Not at all.
And if you think about how long it takes us to learn our own first languages, when we're babies, what takes 3 years, does it? 3 years or 4 years?
Oh, yes.
5 years,
oh,
just
yes.
to know the basics. And that's when a child and a baby has basically 12 hours of tuition a day from their parents and from their community and so on, and constant constructive feedback and corrections and so on, and they're just surrounded by it all day, every day. I think they say it takes something like 10,000 hours to be good at something.
To be an expert at something.
To be an expert at something.
Yes. So I completely agree. I love your point, because there is no magic formula. That's what guys, my Insta family, Claire's Insta family, all of the wonderful viewers that are here. I'm so happy that people from different countries are here today. Happy to interact with all of you. So yes, there is no magic formula or 1 minute cup noodle thing. Give yourself time. It takes time to develop a skill.
Yeah.
Give yourself some time, and give your mentor some time. Give your trainer some time to help you to get into that zone. Sometimes it takes time to get into that zone because it's not your first language. Even if it is your first language, then there are some other challenges like pronunciation or grammar, or I just can't use good words. Why does this happen? I know good words, but I can't use it at the right time. Why doesn't it come when I am giving a presentation in office?
Yeah.
Or when I'm doing maybe a speech activity in my class.
Yeah.
So, yes.
That's a great idea. Maybe I could do a live or a lesson or something soon about how to activate and remember the knowledge that you already have. I have quite a lot of very specific sort of exercises and recommendations. So maybe we could do that in the future. But I think that
we could do that for sure.
That sort of seems like a really good place for us to wrap up now. How do you feel, Karishma?
Sure. Just one question I think we have received. Maybe we can take that.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So Geeta Rag has written sentence formation. So Geeta Rag, I would suggest that, like I said, try to use English for your routine activities. Even if you're traveling somewhere, talk to those people in English, or find a partner whom you can converse with, practice with. That will really help you. Also, if you can allow me to tell all of the people who are here to follow my page, Mentor Karishma, and watch my videos and posts. Do comment. What do you feel? What did you learn? I would love to hear from you.
Yeah. No.
I think, Claire, there is a question for you as well.
Oh, well, I didn't see the question.
I can see a question.
Let me see if I can find.
How to teach.
Oh, how to teach babies. I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm not an expert in teaching babies. Apart from my own baby and my own granddaughter and my own niece, I'm not an expert in teaching English as a foreign language to babies. So perhaps I can try and find you some if you like. And I can, send me a message. Is it Iwan Rizwan? Send me a message and I'll see if I can find you something for that. But I wanted to comment on what you just said. Interacting with us here on Instagram, whether it's in these lives or on our walls, on Karishma's or my own, whatever, is a perfect place for you to practice your English. It's a perfect place.
Yes.
We're doing this in order to help you practice your English. So do.
Yes, we are doing this for you. It's for you. We are doing this. We are sharing amazing tips and techniques and ideas, and it's so amazing. You can just join us in our live sessions and learn so much.
Yes.
Plus, type your questions, type lots and lots of questions, so we know exactly where you are getting stuck.
Yes.
So that we can be specific in addressing your challenges and talk about it.
Wonderful. Good. Well, I think that's a nice kind of summing up there. Get involved, follow Karishma, send her lots of questions. And Karishma, thank you so much for, doing this live with me. I hope, I wish you all the success and wish you, hopefully you have lots of lovely lessons with your students and so on. And hopefully
definitely. Thank you. I had a great time. Okay. And we are meeting soon on my page next time.
Yes, great. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.